Good evening, guys. It's a random one, kind of, but there's a little bit of breaking news. So me and Ned Monday, I thought we'll jump on and get your views on a couple of things. Obviously, you know what the breaking news is. It looks like we're actually going to show some balls and walk away from the Mason Mount deal. Guys, let's get your opinions. On Monday, thanks for John on so quickly. This is the agenda. Let's get the show on the road, guys. Monday, how we doing, man?
You're not bad. I was just thinking it's like nearly 10 o'clock and you're wearing your Trevor McDonald glasses.
This shows how blind I was, bruv. I'm telling you, it's unbelievable, man. It's unbelievable. Yeah, I gotta wear them all the time.
So when we're reading out the titles today, should we do it in the style of the 10 o'clock news?
I haven't drawn.
Let's go with the headlines. Tonight, this is the 10 o'clock news. Tonight, doom.
Mason Mount deal is off. Is it a bluff?
Doom.
Would you take one central midfielder if it's only Caicedo? Boom. Final one. Can a deal be done? Boom.
Do you remember Lenny Henry used to do a good Trevor McDonald?
He was the best.
Yeah.
He was the best. Yeah, he was the best. Guys, Edgar, bath time. We see you, man. You want to go through these messages? I can read them
Stephanie,
now.
how you doing,
Stephanie?
It's this Saturday evening. I hope everyone's doing well. Let's hope this happens for United. Start operating like a proper club again, she's saying here. Bath times. Oh my God, I just got in for some cocktails. This is a banging time for a show, so he's a bit tipsy, I imagine. Change the title to Cocktail Club Nights. It's bath time. Edgar saying, Fab, understanding United have not left the negotiations for Mason Mount at 55 million bid is still valid on the table, but not accepting Chelsea's 65 counter offer. So playing hardball. Big up to Solo as well. How you doing, Solo? And to Matthew Bassett, welcome. I'm sure you're ordering some food right now, kebabs or maybe go for. Big up Mr. B Monday. Boom, boom, boom. Some Stephanie Griffiths. It's 1,000,000% a bluff. How often do you seen this done before? Could be something new from United. Caicedo deal can be done, but United have to act quickly, says Matthew Bassett, and show me that Jack and Coke, JD and Coke, Mr. B. Box saying we're going to end up with one. Caicedo goes Chelsea, Mason Mount goes to Bayern Munich. Anyway, let's start. I'm putting the banners up. They're not showing on my screen. So do you want to put them up?
Yeah, I've got them up there. They're on the ticker at the bottom. Right at the bottom.
Oh, right. They're on the ticket. Okay, that's right. Is it right. After you?
Guys, okay. On Monday, obviously, Man United, they obviously run their mouth in the press saying that they're going to walk away from the deal and blah, blah, blah. I'm thinking, my initial thought is, it's a bluff. It's a bluff because Mason Mount was ideally the first choice. But if they do walk away, I think it's actually showing that we're not going to be taken for our souls anymore. We had a price for what we thought Mount is worth, which is fair. I think it's more than fair what we've offered. And Chelsea, with their face to self, counter offered. They want 57 plus 8. Fuck off. Your player's got a year left. You know what I mean? Don't take the mickey. What you thinking on Monday, man?
So you're saying, is it a bluff? Look, as Steffi said from the start, we're acting like a proper club again because we're not going to take no foolishness. We made an offer. We valued what we value the guy at, and we're sticking to our guns, it seems. Last year, as Bath Time mentioned yesterday on the show, we spent a lot of money on signings, maybe a bit over for Anthony, maybe a little bit over, they could suggest, on Casemiro. And we don't want to go down that road again where we're thinking, all right, you're going to have new ownership. You're going to have loads of money, like Harry Enfield used to say. But we won't be splashing the cash like under... In the 1980s, like under Margaret Thatcher's reign, where everyone seemed to be splashing their cash and having a big file of facts and big old phones like that. We're not doing that anymore. We're not being reckless with our spending, and I think it is a bluff. Yes, I think we want our man to sort of lose out over what 7, 8, 10 million maybe. I think it's a bluff. It's down over to Chelsea now because the reason I think it's a bluff because all indicators suggest that Mason Mount has told Chelsea he wants to leave because he doesn't want to sign a new contract. He told them he wants to go to Old Trafford. And this is why bids had been made. You don't go and bid for a player who's clearly doesn't want to leave. That's
we did with De Jong.
Well, there was something. I think there must have been something in that for us to continue to bid and to want him to leave because there was some other stuff going on behind the scenes with Barcelona with their finance and all that kind of thing at the time. But do you want me just to clarify, like read the news quickly?
Yeah, please.
Just basically, this is from the Times saying Man United are focused on other midfield targets with Caicedo top of the list after reaching an impasse in their attempts to sign Mason Mount. The decision to pursue other options was taken after Chelsea rejected the third bid for Mount worth 55 million. Chelsea are insisting on 65, a price United consider unrealistic given the player's 24 has only 1 year left in his contract. Negotiations are dragged out for amount of weeks. So they're saying in the Times that we're looking at other players now, mainly Caicedo and Atlanta's Highland. Hope Emma's not listening. She's been impressed with that. And Frankfurt's Munani as well, being the primary options. And Ajax forward, Kudos is another one that could come in consideration, but I hope not. Anyway, that's a summary of it. That came out a couple of hours ago. That's why we're doing the show. That's why people like Tyrone are jumping on right now. What is it? Should we start doing shows at 10 o'clock and do a 10 o'clock news show? With,
Mr.
B,
I need it 10 hard, bong, bong, bong.
So, yeah, you start, just going back to you, Mr. B, you started the show by saying, you gave your opinion about is it a bluff. You're quite clear about this, aren't you? You're saying, not being joked, not going to have them joke us about.
Yeah, I do believe they want Mason Mount. I do believe they still want Mount. But sometimes the second choice isn't that bad. You know, I said I keep going back to Martinez one, but somebody said they thought Martinez was a bluff. The Martinez one, they kind of went in under the radar. Because let's be honest, can you imagine if we were playing with Maguire at left centre back last season instead of Martinez, and we had bought Timber? Yeah, I see you smiling, thinking,
"Oh, the wrong guy."
yeah, maybe I am. Yeah, actually, not even maybe. I am asking the wrong guy. I don't think we would have finished third on Monday. I'll just put it out there. So sometimes the second choice isn't always the worst option, but in this case, I would always have chosen. Look, we've heard. We've seen, especially the guys in the chat and the comments, Caicedo is the one that we all want. Anyway, do you know what I mean? What you thinking, that Mason Mount is better suited to the team than Caicedo?
I like the idea. I had to get to come to terms with Mason Mount, but I would say Mason Mount going back to Chelsea after saying he wants to leave, not going to be a good look. He's not going to get much game time. The fans are not going to be on his side, even though he's a homegrown product coming through the academy. I mean, he's actually declared he wants to leave, and then suddenly this deal doesn't go through. He's got to spend a whole season, his last season at Chelsea, unless he signs a new contract, at a club where the fans are probably going to turn on him. So I think this is not the end of it, Mr. B. And this Caicedo, it's ironic, isn't it? Because you mentioned this yesterday as well. You know, you said that we're going to give Chelsea the money by buying Mount for them to get Caicedo. It was you who said that, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I think that was a great point you made there.
I think that's the problem. I mean, look, the question that I'm going to kind of put there, I'm going to put it. Obviously, we all know as a club, we need multiple central midfielders. But if there's a player of this standard, or the standard that we believe he's going to get to, we could have bought, as I said, we could have bought him last season for 6 million. We didn't. Water under the bridge, it's gone. That's what Man United do. But this deal can be done. I'm going to ask you Monday, would we take one central midfielder? Guys in the chat as well and in the comments, would you take one central midfielder if it's the standard of Caicedo and keep hold of a Fred or a McTominay instead of getting rid of both of them and getting two replacements in?
I think you have to be careful, like you said. We don't be mugged off in the transfer market. And I think if it means getting one player in when we still have Scott McTominay, Fred, Ericsson, Casemiro, um, who else is there? I mean, players coming through the youth academy. Hannibal might be coming back, and
Manu.
Kobe. We just sold for Zidane. That's an abundance of midfielders there. Whether it's good enough or not, I'm not sure because we could be playing competing with the Champions League and with other teams around now like Liverpool and Chelsea who didn't make top four, who will be pushing for that this season. It's going to be fireworks next season, so we need to be up to scratch, in that respect. I want to go through a few comments rather than me answer this. I want to say big up to Stuart. He's saying hi. Mason Mount is wanted by Bayern, says Matthew Bassett, but not seen anything about it. Here's an interesting one. 1 year left in his contract, and Neves has gone for 50 million. So Chelsea really maybe
are. But he's gone to make up money. You know what I mean? They whatever price thing they would have paid it. So I don't really classify him leaving with 1 year on his contract as anything substantial, to be fair.
Box is saying it feels like we've got 120 million. We're caught between six stools of what and who to buy. Bath Time saying I think it depends on the scales of Elanga, Williams, and unfortunately McTominay. Now, as I said earlier, big up to Tyrone Williams. Tyrone was supposed to come on the show with us not so long ago, but he ended up going on a mad one to Amsterdam, I think it was, to Ajax or something. So maybe you got some insight into what's going on with Kudos still. Mount is saying here, sorry, not Mount. Matthew's saying here, Mount does want to move, but Chelsea are being bellends. There you go. Gavrio to Man City says Box. Emma is in the house. We did pronounce Ireland correctly. She's saying, but Ten Hag doesn't fancy McTominay, so isn't it better for him to go somewhere else where he would actually play? Caicedo is a gamble for Bath Time. One good season in the league, history of behavioural problems. Stephanie saying wasting time and money are big no-nos if we're going to get this transfer window right. The real priority is strikers and possibly midfielders, centre-backs and goalkeeper and a midfielder as well. So there's the answer for you from Stephanie. You asked if Dido, would that be enough, one midfielder? She's saying yeah, because there's other positions that we need to fill as well. I'll be coming on to more comments later. So yeah, what do you think, Mr. B? Stephanie agrees with you. I just to clarify, I do think Caicedo, there is a question mark for me about him, especially when you're paying 100 million for him. We were on the show yesterday. It was said that 100 million is fine. That's all right for him, but 50 million or 60 million for Mount is questionable. I think it's the other way around. I think Mount is proven. Caicedo, there's still question marks for me, but he is a player who does get around the pitch. He's strong, and he's shown in his first season that he can do something. I don't know about his character though, and I'm not sure if it's worth paying 100 million for a player like that. What's he done in the Champions League? Have you ever seen him play?
He's never had the opportunity.
Well, exactly. So you don't know. It's a bit like Lavia. Lavia's, look at this guy. He's young. He's doing well in the league. But you just don't know how good these guys are when they step up to playing Champions League every week and that performance level being consistent. We've seen good performances from players like Lavia and Caicedo, but that's once a week. They're not playing in Europe, for example, so they can get that performance out there. I remember when Saka first came on the scene, the Arsenal guy, Saka, he was getting cramp every 20 minutes. I'm joking, but after 70 minutes, he kept getting cramp. So it takes a lot to sort of get up to that level and play consistently at that level, especially for young players. So I think there's still question marks for me. But I do think, Mr. B, with all the money, I mean, if we are got restricted budget, we can't be spending like 100 million on Caicedo because that's what they want. Same with Chelsea.
But you see, right? Okay, so you're saying 100 million. That's not a price that I've seen. All I've seen is 70 plus 10. That's the price. Yeah, for Caicedo. Yeah. So guys in the chat, am I wrong? Is it 100 million?
Brighton have quoted of saying they want 100 million for Caicedo. We're saying it wrong. I say Caicedo.
I don't know. I say Caicedo. I don't look, unless he tells me. Look, it's what is it? Potato.
Say his name again?
Caicedo.
Caicedo, and I'm saying Caicedo. Would you say Malacia or Malacia?
Malacia.
Okay, tomato again. It's
see.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, yeah. What you're posing the question to the comments, guys. Mr. B, what you saying?
Look. Okay, so Matthew Bassett has got 70 to 80. Boxers said I've seen 100 million. Can I say I didn't see 100 million until we were linked with him. Then all of a sudden now it's 20 million Man United tax. Is that what's going on out here?
I don't know. But Tyrone's saying here, at 21 years old, there's plenty of time for Caicedo, or whatever you call him, to mature and improve under Ten Hag. He may have only one good season, but he will improve.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, I wonder, sorry, with this one here, I know you're talking about, oh, they haven't played in the Champions League. Everybody's got a bust their cherry somewhere, bro. You understand? And I would rather he's doing it at our club than doing it at somewhere else. You know what I mean? You've seen his growth this season from a 6 million player to a 70 million pound player that people aren't arguing about. All right, 100 million people are arguing. But for 70 million, people are saying it's a good price. So look what the improvement has been and the class that he's shown. Now, as I keep saying, Ten Hag has been improving our players at our club, bro. Some of them, we already know. But the majority of the players at the club has improved. So him under Ten Hag, with his coaching, I just believe that, I'm not saying sky's the limit, but you've got to look at what he does. All you talk about is his strength. You know, man's not bodying him off the pitch, his positioning. You know, I would like to, with Ten Hag's guidance, bro, look what Rashford did this season under Ten Hag. It's not a fluke. I don't care what anybody says to me. It's not a fluke. Yeah, Luke Shaw improved beyond belief under Ten Hag. All right, he had one good season before, but he's mentally strong. All right, the weak ones, Martial. We already done know Martial's weak. He was crying like a pum-pum when Zlatan took his shirt from him. And as soon as he's got competition, he doesn't want to play. He gets a little niggle. Oh, I've got to come off. We already know so the mentally strong players that he can deal with are the ones that we want. And Caicedo, to me, seems like a mentally strong player. So I feel that there's so much room for improvement with him, man.
Wow. I'm really impressed by that little summary you gave us. Breakdown, selling pitch for Caicedo. I said he's physically strong, and you've actually gone on to say he's mentally strong as well. And they say you're basically saying that under Ten Hag, players will improve. And being 21, following on from what Tyrone was saying there, that there's room for growth there. My thing is, how can you go from a 6 million valued player in one season to I'm saying 100 million. I know Matthew Bassett, you said you haven't seen it for 100 million, but I'm sure I've heard somewhere that Brighton have priced him up as 100 million. How do you go from 6 million to 100 million unless, you know, you're doing things that R9 was doing at that sort of age, you know, or what Messi was doing at that sort of age? That is a massive, massive increase in price for somebody who I'm saying is just physically strong at the age. I'm sorry. I want to see more from somebody to get that sort of growth. I'm not saying he's not a bad player. I've seen him play at right back, and even in an inverted role. I've seen, you know, for Brighton this season, when their right back, was it March, got injured, or was one of the guys he filled in there, and he even played against us at right back in one of the games, I think, maybe the league game. And up against Sancho, he really done a good job against him because he's
because Sancho didn't want to fucking run past him. That's bloody why.
Let's not get into this Sancho slate.
All right, sorry.
Another show. You're so quick to run him, innit? Give the man a chance. All we're saying is give Sancho a chance, in the words of John Lennon. So I do think there's still question marks. I don't think a man should be valued that high, especially for his position. How many sort of DMs or sort of midfield players who's not, how many goals? He's not a goal scorer from midfield. So what is he bringing that makes everyone so excited about Caicedo? What is he actually bringing that other guys haven't got? Is he better than Declan Rice? You know, in that position? Are they similar position? I'm trying to compare him to someone of similar ilk, you know? Because from what I've seen, he gets the ball, he passes it straight, basic pass, professional player, what they're supposed to do, pass it simple. Never seen him spraying balls. You know, when I see his highlight reel, I'm just seeing him bodying Ericsson, who's half the man he used to be, you know, from whatever happened to him. I don't see it. Look, I'm just very, if you're spending that sort of money, I think the jury has to be out still if you're spending that sort of money on someone. I'm not having the same debate about Mason Mount because he's proven, from my own eyes, I've seen him over the last few years.
But he's not 100 million. So what you're saying? How much would you pay for him? What's the tops? What's the tops you would go in for him?
If you talk about Caicedo, the true price for Caicedo after one season with doubts and everything else, and what he brings to the game, and he's not goal scorer. He's not like elite, I don't think, just yet. But the true value should be no more than 50 million, in my opinion. You know, I think you're paying extra. This is
So
after last
my stream
year,
went.
Mr. P. Last year
Sorry,
we
my
paid
stream went. I didn't hear the price.
50,
As
five.
soon as you said for 50, okay.
Yeah, because
Okay.
last season we paid over the odds for Anthony. I don't. You were saying as well. We don't even paying over the odds for players. Let's put the jury's out, guys. Unless someone can demonstrate to me in the comments or do what Mr. B did, which did, good selling point for Caicedo. But if someone could demonstrate why he's worth so much, what is it about his game that makes it worth so much, then I'm prepared to listen. But for now, 50 million max.
Okay. You want to go through some of these comments? They're popping off in here.
Yeah, so Bartram says Caicedo is believed to have a £70 million price tag agreed with him after the move was blocked to Arsenal in January, he thinks. Want to say hi to Red or Dead. He's saying Rice got the English tax for no for me. Champions League experience. No Champions League experience from Rice. Stephanie here is saying, seen figure of 70 million as well for Brighton. We'll do a Cucurella and bump up the price, especially in the battle with Chelsea for his signature. There you go. Could be an auction, in it with Caicedo. Box is saying basically Brighton are trying to recoup the money they lost on Matt Callister, who had a £35 million release clause. So they're overcharged for Caicedo, who has no price tag. And obviously, why would you get rid of two of your main midfielders in one season? Doesn't make sense.
I'm on this. Sorry, yeah. While you're on that, I know they've got European football next season. They're going to get rid of two of their main, like their proper main players, and they've still got the European, because they're in it. So that means they're in the league, right? So that's going to be the extra 6 games in Europe as well. It's going to be difficult for them. I mean, obviously, Brighton's recruitment is A1 because they always have a replacement. But to have a replacement for those two that are going to have that kind of experience, it's going to be interesting to see what they do if they do get pinched. Sorry to cut you off.
No, I'm listening. I'm curious. I mean, I put it out there. I want to know more about. Sorry, just to pronounce it, I want to get it right because someone who's fluent in Spanish is Bath Time, and he's giving us the right way to pronounce the name somewhere. I forgot where it is now, but he's told us how to pronounce it correctly. I think the way you're pronouncing it is more on the money because I'm getting told off here. But anyway, yeah. But Bath Time here, we ain't getting Rice, says Red or Dead, but Bath Time saying again, Caicedo, sorry, last season was fantastic in the first build-up phase of build-up. I don't know how good he can be with a limited goalkeeper, so it's a waste of money unless the keeper is changed. Okay, there you go.
So you would be happy with, so that sounds like he'd be happy with Caicedo and Onana then?
Yeah, well, there you go. Yeah, with a new keeper. Where it could help. Depends on how many other clubs are interested. That's how prices increase, says Emma. Box is saying I'd go to Brighton with 40 or 50 million for Evan Ferguson by 2025. Brighton will charge us 150 million for him. By the way, I was reading just listen to this, just quickly on this. I was watching a podcast earlier on my day off, and talking about here, Evan Ferguson. They're saying by 2025 he'd be worth 150 million. I was watching Matt Letizia, Simon Jordan interviews, really good. And Matt Letizia, at 21 years old, scored 24 goals in the Premier League. 21 years old and didn't get no England caps and everything else. He said the reason for that was because of the abundance of great forwards at that time in the 90s. So imagine 21 years old and scoring 24 goals in the Premier League. How much would he be worth today? Just throw it out there because Evan Ferguson hasn't scored that amount of goals.
9, I think, or 8.
There you go. There's a difference in things. So we have to. Everything's all relative, isn't it? When you look at things, Matt Letizia today scoring 24 goals at 21 years old in the Premier League, being English as well. How much would he be worth? Just throwing it out there. As Tyrone saying, Man United will probably get all their deals done in January once the new owners are in. Okay, so there you go. So let's try not to panic. Rebel.
Yeah, I mean, sorry. I've got to go to this question. Do you believe that Ten Hag wants the deals done when these players are in the USA so that they miss all of the preseason training?
No.
I just cannot believe. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm, me, I'm always an optimist until it slaps me in my face. But I just can't believe that we're going to wait. I cannot believe that we're not going to get at least 2 deals done before they fly out.
Okay, just quickly, we asked the question, what's so good about Caicedo? Stephanie says energy, power, pace. These you're supposed to have these attributes, I believe, if you're a footballer in the Premier League. Why aren't we going for Barella? Says Box. Caicedo is more athletic than Declan Rice. He's a box-to-box midfielder, makes vital interceptions. Kante didn't look special at Leicester, but he's been priceless for Chelsea. He didn't look special at Leicester by winning the league for them. I thought he looked outstanding. You could say Caicedo is an international player. Mount is not. Southgate never picked him. He did start the final against Italy, by the way, and he did start the Champions League final. Flex Felix in house. You want to get a few people just jumped in. As soon as we go in for Caicedo, the price will be 120 million.
Yeah.
He's saying. Want to say hi to Ray Nika, saying, hi, by the way, welcome to the Man United agenda, bro. Nice to see you here. Saying, we act too desperate. That's why we have to pay this tax. It's like dating, isn't it? Act like you can get better. Watch them dance for you. All right. I like that. I like that a lot. That's very funny. 19 in the chat, guys. Make sure you press the like button as well. Big T saying Milner going for the all-time Premier League appearance record now. I think he needs another 34 games or something like that for Brighton. On-field appearances, maybe. So they have got cover now. So maybe that by getting Milner in, they can afford to sell. Brighton picked up Mohamed Doha from Borussia Dortmund. Okay, so they are covered. See, they do their business so well, don't they, Brighton? Yeah, carry on, Mr. B, because George Kyle's just arrived as well. So it's going to get interesting in the chat.
Welcome. Is he saying he's the GOAT? Is he saying we're the GOAT? Is he saying that he's the GOAT? Because he's the GOAT? Oh, well, look, could be talking about Ten Hag. Guys, you know Man United, you know what we're like. Everything we do is so public, yeah? We always move where the whole world knows. We're knocking down doors, licking out windows, and deals still ain't getting done. Liverpool, I hate them, but they move in silence. Caicedo had a buyout clause that nobody knew about, yeah? The deal was done. Oh, Liverpool are interested in Caicedo. Boy, 24 hours later, he's having his medical. I don't... Sorry, who did I say?
You said Caicedo. You talking about?
Oh, did I? Sorry. You know what?
He had a £35 million buyout clause. Yes,
yeah. There's a reason. Apologies. Yeah, apologies. Yeah. I just feel that everything we do is always so public. Everything we do is always so public. Do the deal. Get something done. On Monday, you know our club is like. Is this one we're going to get done, or are we going to end up buying Mason Mount and giving Chelsea the money to buy their first choice central midfielder?
There's a saying, isn't there? You know, as a Jamaican, they say bad boys move in silence. And like you said, I do agree. I like the deal. I refer back to Timber. We were going for Timber, all eyes on Timber, and that was the distraction when we went in and got Martinez instead, the butcher. You know, and that proved to be a great signing. So I think sometimes you have to be smart in the transfer with your transfer business, and don't, whatever you do, don't sort of show like the man was saying there. Don't show everyone that's the girl you like, because like if I say to me and you in the club, Mr. B, and we've been here before. I've been in the club with Mr. B. I said, "Oh, look at that girl over there. She looked nice." I go to the bar to get a drink. Tutu's Mr. B is, you know, to grab her or wine. And you know people like that, you know. It's you want to watch Love Island to see understand how that works. So don't put all the attention on one person unless it's a decoy to sort of say, yeah, look over there, Mason Mount, everybody. And in the meantime, you're doing business like a bad boy in silence. And hopefully that's what's going on here with Mount and all these other guys that we're looking to sign. By the way, this guy, Mohamed Kudus, whatever, I don't want anything to do with this guy from Ajax. He's not good enough to be a Man United player. He's just like Fred. And left-footed as well. And
oh, short. Really?
I've done my research on this guy, and it's a big thumbs down from me for Mohamed Kudus, the Ghanaian from Ajax. No way is he good enough to come Man United, and he's just a terrible player for me. He's just like Fred, and people would be really disappointed. I would be disappointed if we got him. Big up to George. He's saying, sadly, I think we're going to go for that turd Mount. That Mount
not a Mount fan. I could definitely. It's not a Mount fan.
Big up to MUFC Realist TV. Go and subscribe to their channel. He says too much of that juju juice, Mr. B. That's why you're
Listen,
calling McAllister
listen,
Salcedo. They look
listen. Look,
nothing alike.
there's
Tyrone's saying here,
there's
players like
never enough.
Salcedo, players like Salcedo and Kante do the simple thing so well. You don't always need a luxury player like that, like Pogba or Ozil in your side as well. Interesting that, yeah. One more quote for you. I think, look, when we get in, if you're talking about nearly 100 million for Salcedo, yeah, it doesn't make you go, I know people, you need people in your side to do a good job, you know? Like Matt Letizia, he was saying, look, I know I was super talented with shooting and scoring goals and assisting, but he needed other players around him to contribute who didn't have the abilities he had. And that's the same with Salcedo. He played in the team. You need a Salcedo in your team, someone who's going to do the donkey work, going to tackle, intercept, all the good things that everyone's saying about in the comments. You need that sort of player. But I do think with like when we signed Pogba for 100 million, we were like, oh yeah, we thought, yeah, he's one of the best in the world. We're getting something good. I know it didn't work out, but the same applies to Salcedo. If you're paying 100 million for him, you're not getting. I don't feel us get. I'm not getting those vibes. Like, yeah, it's on. You know, I'm just thinking, okay, how many people could do this job? Because I think winning games about scoring goals and assists and that kind of thing. And you need to. That's why strikers get Ballon d'Ors and forwards and all that kind of thing. Goalkeepers hardly ever get it. All defenders or midfielders or defensive midfielders. I think with Salcedo, you need players like that, but there's a lot of players, I believe, who are capable of doing the basics really well, like Caicedo does. That's why they're not valued usually as good. Players with the special, what do you call it, Mr. B? Or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, that thing. They're hard to come by. It's like when you see a left-footed player looking good, you know, it's like, wow, it makes you really, and a right-footed player could do exactly the same thing, but the left-footed player looks special doing it. I just think, yeah, this is why we value players higher, because at the top end of football, you need players to finish goals, to score goals, to have that special ability about them. And I think when you're doing the hard work you're supposed to do, Emma said, what you do, it was asked, what does he do well? Power, pace, energy, whatever. You're supposed to do these things. That's why I'm asking for a little
say,
extra.
Okay, you say that, but there's players out there that don't on Monday. I think it's certain specific attributes for certain positions on the pitch.
Yeah.
That's more how I see it. You could have a midfielder who don't want to run, but give him the football and he's going to cause a chaos. So maybe teams will build a player around him. This is what I'm saying about Ten Hag and the system and the style of player that he wants for his specific system. There's players out there who are superb, but could they fit into Ten Hag's system? And this is what I say. He's trying to find system players. You play in the system, but you've also got that opportunity to express yourself in the abilities that you've got. So first things first, he wants to buy a player who can play to what he to play for his philosophy. Now, once they've got that and he's got that, he's then looking for players to be able to express them. He's already said he didn't realize Casemiro was that kind of player. You understand? We didn't realize Casemiro was that kind of player because he had been pigeonholed in this holding player where he lets all these other players play. So that's what we expected. Now, when he's scoring semi-overhead kicks in the goal, then you have to understand that he's now been able to express himself, but he's still playing. And this is what I'm saying. Caicedo, I think, can play in our system, but he's also got the mental strength to be able to trust his own ability to express himself. But I say that with Mason Mount as well. I do say that with Mason. We want mentally strong players. We don't want no more pum signing at Old Trafford. You know what I mean?
All right, I can nod and agree with you there. I do. I'll just put it out there. But yeah, thanks everyone. Really wonderful comments coming in. Just shout this out from George. He says, "Salcedo's best strength is how unpressable he is." And realist is saying, missing out on Salcedo is like missing out on Conte. This is a 1 in a million, fam. Leave it as that.
Guys, we are the Man United Agenda. On Monday, thanks for jumping on. Guys, thanks for joining the chat so late. We couldn't leave a Saturday night without talking about, mate. We'd wait until Monday and then the news is blown up. So, guys, everybody in the chat, thanks for watching. Comments, always appreciated. Guys, we will see you in a couple. We might see you tomorrow. We might have some more breaking news tomorrow. Might see you tomorrow. Guys, thanks for watching the Man United Agenda. We are out.
Bye bye.